Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam. As a part of Vaidika karmas, now we are discussing what Sodasa Samskaaras are. And as a part of that, so far we have seen the first 6 samskaras. That is 3 samskaras before childbirth and 3 after. That means Jata karma, Nishkramana or Namakarana and Nishkramana. So Namakarana, that is naming ceremony, it can be done on the 11th day or on the 28th day or on any day before the completion of the first year. Nishkramana is a ceremony which should be done on the 3rd Krishna Paksha Tritiya. Now we can see the 7th samskara, and that is Annaprasha or Annaprashanam. Annaprashanam means prashanam, feeding. Prashanam means feeding. Feeding Anna. Anna is Adyate, iti, that which is being eaten. That which is being eaten is Anna. Normally, it is a rice feeding ceremony. Rice feeding. Even in places where rice is not the main item, even there, Annaprasha is rice feeding ceremony. So it is the occasion when the child will be given rice for the first time. That is Annaprasha. Normally, it should be done on the 6th month. 6th month. There are difference of opinions among acharyas themselves regarding when Annaprasha should be done. Some says boys should be given in the first half of 6th month and the girls in the second half. But there is no unanimous opinion, and we cannot substantiate with logic. So we can take it as on the 6th month. As in all other samskaras, here also there is the ritual connected with Annaprasha, and that ritual involving Agnihotra should be done in the home itself. So it should be performed. We have to do it in the home itself. Actually, all the samskaras we are doing in the home. Nowadays, we are going to temples or some other places of worship, or the place of some acharyas. All right, we can do, but actually, all the samskaras should be done in the home itself. All these are connected with the grihastha dharma. So, grihastha dharma should be performed in the griha itself. It is for that we are having griha. Griha is not a place to live. Of course, it's a place to live, but there is something more than that. And what is that more? It is a place to perform all the dharmic rituals and dharmic karmas. So all these samskaras, from first to last, we are doing or we have to do from our home itself. So, of course, Upadhyaya or the Acharya of the family or the place, that locality, will come and do that particular ritual. And both the parents must sit on a samasana in front of the Homakunda. And of course, the child also must be there. And as in the naming ceremony, as many elders must be invited as possible. Vruddhas. It is the tradition. It is the tradition. And it is said, Vijnanam Vruddhopasevaya. So we are getting real knowledge. How? Vruddhopasevaya. By serving or respecting elders. And these vruddhas are of many kinds. Vayo vruddhas, jnana vruddhas, tapo vruddhas, like that, who are well established in austerity, doing penances. They are tapo vruddhas. And jnana vruddhas are there, men of knowledge. Then vayo vruddhas are there, elders, elderly people. So we have to invite Vruddhas. And all these Vruddhas must be given very good feast. Of course, after the ceremony. And in front of the Homa Kunda, where the Agnihotra was performed, in front of that, parents and grandparents all must come together, sit together, and feed the child. It is on this day, child is eating solid food items. Till then, there was only milk. Now, from this day onwards, solid food must be given. So all assembled there will give food to that child. That means all 100 together feeding the child. No, just to touch it and as a symbol of love and care and blessing, they will touch the tongue of the child and must feed. And Vruddhas must bless the child. Pasyema Sharadashatam, Jivema Sharadashatam, Prabhavama Sharadashatam. So chanting such mantras, all the elders will and must bless the child. Blessings of elders, that is the greatest wealth in our life. How it works, we cannot explain. But it is a matter of experience. It is the greatest wealth we can have. So all the elders must bless the child, and the parents must feed all the elders, and of course, as per their capacity, they must give some presentations to all elders, like cloth and things like that. And on behalf of the child, they must prostrate before those elders. And this is the Annaprasha ceremony. Now, how many are doing in the house, I don't know. But actually, this is a ceremony which we have to do from our home itself. And if we cannot get anybody who knows the ritual, that particular ritual, we can do some simple Agnihotras. And even that we do not know. In that case, we can go to the nearest temple, and from there we can feed the child. Usually, in temples, after performing some other samskaras, whatever be that samskara, usually we don't enter inside the pranamaya kosha of the temple. that we are supposed to do pradakshina, and we can sit outside only after performing any samskaras. Because it is not a part of temple worship. It is not a part of temple worship. Actually, all these samskaras we have to do from our home itself. But however, if we are going to temples and doing it is good. Better than not doing. So this is the seventh samskara, Annaprasha. And the eighth is Chuda Karma or Kesha Samskara. That is the eighth samskara. Some acharyas are taking Karnaveda as a separate samskara. Then Karnaveda will be the eighth. Some acharyas are clubbing these two samskaras, that is Karnaveda and Chuda Karma or Kesha Samskara. Then some may ask, if we are clubbing them as one samskara, and if some other acharyas are taking them separately, how this is number 16 samskara will become tallied? The reply is, some acharyas who are taking these as separate samskaras will join Vivaha Samskara and Grihasthashrama Pravesha Samskara together. Thus it will count 60 total. So however, we can take it as one samskara, and as you like, you can take this. What we are doing is, of course, as in other samskaras, Agnihotra will be there. Upadhyaya or Acharya of the family of or the locality will be doing that Agnihotra. And the parents must sit and do. They have to perform that Agnihotra along with Acharya. And on that day, the hair will be shaved for the first time. When the samskara is to be done, the reply is after the first year and before third year. There is no specific day prescribed. So the family can decide. The family can decide. They can select an auspicious occasion and do that. And along with that, Karnaveda also will be performed. So all the hair will be removed. That is the first shaving ceremony. And there is one special thing to note is the dakshina that we are giving to the Kshuraka. Kshuraka is the barber who is shaving. It must be the same amount. It must be the same amount. The dakshina we are giving to Acharya. That is, both of them must be given the same amount of dakshina. What is the meaning of that? What is the message of that? Just think. We are considering all works equal and divine. The work of a barber is as much divine as the work of an acharya who is performing Agnihotra. What matters is how we consider our work. That is what matters. There is no higher or lower work. There is no big or small work. No. Work is work, and work is worship, and work is divine. That is our concept. So, this is the next samskara, that is Chuda Karma or Kesha Samskara. It is being performed only after the first year, not before that. We must not shave the hair, remove the hair before 1 year. It is not good. After the first year, we must do that. But it can be done before the 3rd year. So this is the next samskara, that is the 8th samskara. And what is the 9th that we can take in our next session? So whatever doubt you want to ask, you can ask. If I know the reply, I will reply. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji. The question is
Namaste.
from Sadiji. The first question, you can unmute and you can ask Sadiji.
Yeah.
Pranam
Namaste.
Swami.
Namaste. Namaste.
Sati here. I have a couple of questions. One is about the topic that we discussed today, and that is about taking the child out, the Nishkramana. And
Nishkramana.
if for some reason, for like vaccination or some other reason, we have to take the child earlier, what will we do? That's one question. And the second question is, what happens to, it's not related to today's topic, what happens to the prana and mind during anesthesia? That's my second question. Thank you.
The first is, see, in the present day world, all our lifestyle has changed. When we are studying a topic, we must be truthful to that topic in studying that. How our acharyas taught that. That theoretically we have to learn. And in the next stage or the next step, we have to consider the practical aspects we are facing in the present day world. What we are learning theoretically, that is from the written documents of our acharyas. Those were written thousands and thousands years back. The scenario has changed totally. Of course, the basic principle is the same, basic philosophy is the same, there is no change at all. But practically our lifestyle, our pattern of life has fully changed. So we must adapt practically. That adaptation, that technique we must know. Because all these aspects are smriti aspects, not shruti. In our Shastra, there are two aspects. One is shruti, that is Shrauta, and the other Smriti Smarta. The basic teachings related with the reality and the teachings connected with the basic dharma, it won't change. It won't change. It's everlasting. That is the Shrauda aspect. And the Smarta aspect, that will change depending on time, place, many things. Many things. For example, when we are speaking about Sandhya Vandanam, there are places where we cannot see Sandhya at all. There are places where sunset will be at 11 or 11:30 in the night, and sunrise will be at 3 o'clock or 3:30 in the morning. So practically we will not see sunset and sunrise. Then how we will do the Sandhya Vandana? So in such cases, we have to have some adaptation according to our own situations. So we have to consider all these practical problems. Now, childbirth is happening in hospitals. So it is not a matter of taking the child out. Instead, we are taking the child in. We are taking from hospital to home. So there is no meaning in Nishkramana. Already child is coming from outside. Then what is the meaning in taking the child outside? That is question one. So that is one practical thing. And as the beginning itself is in a hospital, every now and then we will have to take the child to hospital because it began there with a load full of trapped emotions. The childbirth occurred. So from time to time, we will have to take the child to hospital. I'm not speaking about all the cases, but many a times we are seeing this. So in these like situations, what we will do? And for vaccination, we will have to take for this, for that. So in this world, in the present day world, we will have to follow. There is no escape because it will invite so many legal problems and many things which we cannot explain fully now. So such things we will have to adjust. After all, there is no meaning in this Nishkramana nowadays. Of course, there is meaning. We can do this much on the third Krishna Paksha Tritiya. We can take the child out and show the child the trees, creepers, sun, moon, dogs, cats, cows. That is living beings around us. That is introducing the child to the ecosystem. That we can do. But there is no much meaning as the earlier Nishkramana nowadays. Because actually we are taking the child from the hospital to the house. That is the answer to your first question. Then the second is, see, we are passing through three states, Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti. Through these three states we are we are passing through. There is no a fourth state, avasthatrayam. There is no fourth state. Only three states are there. Through these three, we are passing through these three states. And your question was how or what happens to our mind and pranas in a state of anesthesia. We can divide this. What happens to prana and what happens to mind. Because these are two entities, even though they are connected. In a state of unconsciousness, that happens. A state of unconsciousness happens in our life. Leave the case of anesthesia now for the time being. So, how we are feeling that state of unconsciousness? There are two types of that state. For example, what I am saying now is not 100% verifiable in all the cases. But we can analyze for ourselves how it happened for me or how it happened in the case of my own life or my own experience, how it is. In such a way, we have to analyze. What I'm saying is, see, for example, when we have a dehydration because of continuous vomiting or loose motion, or when we have a high fever or such other ailments, then at a certain stage, we goes to that state of unconsciousness. How we are feeling there? There, so many bad or painful dreamlike situation comes. Total unrestness. We cannot rest at all. The mind is that much disturbed. I am seeing, or I am feeling, or I am hearing many fearful things or experiences. And after that unconscious state, I will come to normal conscious level, and the feeling I am having is uneasiness, a troubled mind. That is one case. And when we are passing through that much painful mental state, that much inner agony, inner pain, not physical, mental pain, which we cannot tolerate at all. When our psycho-neuro system cannot bear that, then we will go to that state of unconsciousness. How it is? Calm. That much calmness we are having within. And within a short time, our mind is rejuvenated. It comes to a state of calmness. It gets much solace. And the feeling we are having when we come back to the conscious level is that much calmness and serenity, relaxed. So that is that. So unconsciousness, that state itself is giving these two experiences which are diametrically opposite, two extremes. The first we will consider as a state of dream, that is Swapna, and the latter we will have to consider as a state of Sushupti. In the case of anesthesia also, when we are entering into that, it is equivalent to a state of dream. And when it is fully working, our state is equivalent to that of Sushupti. So, how mind is acting? Mind is working in the Swapna state, the dream state. It is recapturing all the experiences, or it is working as per the samskara or the tendencies it had in the waking state. And in the Sushupti state, mind is not at all working. Manascha mantavyam cha. Both the mind and what is to be thought of, all those are not at all manifesting, and they have dissolved in the self. That is in the Sushupti state. Manascha mantavyam cha. Both the mind and that is to be thought of, both they have dissolved in the self. So it is a state of dissolution. Sushupti is just like a pralaya. Pralaya for the samashti, for the macrocosm. So in a state of anesthesia, when we are entering into that, it is just like a dream state. And after moments, it will become a state like Sushupti. And what about prana? Prana is working. Because in all these states, that is Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti, prana is working. Pranagnayaha eva asmin pure jagarti. The fire of prana is always working. But there is a difference. And what the difference is? Prana is working, but that work is as if in a hibernated state. Because organs of action, they are not working. Senses of cognition, they are not functioning. And the mind, the intellect, all are not working at all. So prana is not giving them the extra energy for their function. All these are in a state of hibernation. But still prana is working. Prana is awake always in all the states. So in the anesthesia, that state also, prana is working. If prana is not working, then this body will not survive. Not the body alone, but none of our adjuncts, they will function if the prana is not working. This is the answer. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji. Something very interesting. The topic was like just want to add a couple of sentences. When something traumatic happens to ourselves, like in an accident or some mishaps, the brain will shut down all the memories, all other functions, and the brain will only concentrate on to get an escape route from that miserable situation. So even though the brain will not store any memories, brain will not take any kind of other activities. It will only concentrate on the escape route. So that while accident happens, people will not remember what happened after that. So that is also the newest researches. It goes in line with what you have explained right now.
Yes, it is. See, in an electric circuit, there is a normal voltage, and the capacity of the line to bear with or suffer that much power, or what we can call that much ampere. But when it is small, what happens in our old pattern of wiring? Of course, that fuse, that wire will burn just to protect the entire system. But now there are circuit breakers that will not burn, but instead of that, circuit breaker will automatically put the circuit in the off position. And when it is all right, when the voltage is all right, it will automatically put the system or the circuit in the on position. The same thing happens here also. The same thing. In a state of mental trauma, what we want is that solace, that touch of love, an inner rest, not physical rest, that we are getting. That we are getting. Actually, this the functions of the brain, more and more research must come. Not that how it is functioning, but what is behind that functioning. Who is making it function? That question must be considered. Of course, the neurons are doing this. They are going to a state of hibernation, or they are shutting off. All these are true. But we have to have more and more research in this field, how it is happening. Who is behind all this? In that direction, our research must go. I'm sure our researchers will go in that direction, and a time will come. It is not far. It is not far. A time will come when these researchers will join with what our acharyas taught. They will sit together. There is no doubt in that. Yeah. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji. Ravicheta, if you want to ask that question about, you can unmute yourself and ask. Unmute it.
Unmute.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste, namaste.
Just a question related to the Annaprasa Samskara. You mentioned that there are some mantras are chanted. You would like to know what are those mantras are. If you can elaborate.
Yeah, No, I cannot. Because in the beginning of this session itself, when we started this Sodasa Samskara, in a black and white language, I had said, I do not know any of these mantras connected with the karma kandas, and I'm just narrating here what these samskaras are and how they are connected, or we have to connect with the present social system, and how we can do all these things we are discussing, and things connected with rituals and the mantras used in those rituals. I do not know that part. And there are differences also. There are many mantras. There are differences as per different smritis. See, all these are things explained in different smritis by acharyas like Apastamba, Bodhayana, Ashulayana, and these acharyas, they're explaining, and there are many mantras. So according to family lineage and all, differences are there. And this subject, we can ask to some experts in this karma kanda. I'm not at all an expert in that karma kanda, so I cannot say this. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji. The next
Namaste.
question is from Satya ji. Satyam ji, you can unmute yourself. He raised the hand, but he is not responding. Okay, Swamiji, there is another question regarding the Karnaveda Samskara. So there are a lot of efforts or a lot of practices in different culture, like, some areas like in Burma and all, they put the brass ring around the neck to make the body beautiful, or we pierce our ears. So where is a fine line between like ornamenting body, like putting tattoos and wearing ornamentals? Is there a limit our way of our Ashabharata Samskara defined that you have to decorate the body or you have to be clean and nice? So where is that fine line? Where is that border happening?
It's a difficult question. See, our samskaras, they have many meanings and many aspects connected with those samskaras. For example, this Karnaveda and Kesha samskara, they are not for just ornamenting or beautifying the body. They are not just to wear rings or some other ornaments. Of course, that is one purpose. It is one purpose. There is no doubt in that. But along with that, all these are performed to increase the resistance power of our body. That is why specific age limitations are prescribed. If it is just to wear some ornaments, then our acharyas can say that plainly. This is just to wear your ornament. So when such a need comes, you can pierce your ear. You can do your Karnaveda. No. You can shave your hairs whenever you want or whenever you like. No. After the Kesha Samskara, you can do that. But it is specifically said before the first year, you cannot do that. So all these are connected with increasing the resistance power of our body. immunity, to develop the immunity. Through much hardships we have to pass through. And then our body, it will prepare to face all odds in this life. When our body is not prepared to face the odds in life, when it is always protected, when some problem comes, when some physical attack comes, attacks even from some pollens or some small microbes, our body cannot face it. It will fail. It won't have the immunity. It won't have the resistance power. So that aspect also is there. Now, regarding the tattoos and all these things, after all, it is your body. You have the right to do all these things. We cannot interfere. We cannot say you must not do this, you must not do that. But thing is, we must understand this body as an instrument. This is a vehicle. This is the vehicle, and it must be kept in perfect condition. Perfect means as much as we can. Because this is the vehicle to reach our goal. This is dharma sadhanam. So to perform dharma in this life, we must have this body in a good condition. That is the main thing. So we have to be clean always. We have to wash ourselves. That cleanliness, that is most important. And regarding cleanliness also, there will be difference of opinions. What is meant by cleanliness? How you are cleaning your body? Because when I am speaking in as per my perception, it will not be accepted by some others. For example, when I consider bathing in the pond or in a river as most energizing, rejuvenating, and beneficial for the overall health. Some may say, no, 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 it is full of bacteria, so you must not do that. It is the same water in which so many others have taken bath, so it is not at all healthy. So you have to bath in the what you can call in the mineral water. That is most helpful. Of course, difference of opinions there can welcome. But what I am seeing is practically, if you are saying this is contaminated water, those who are having bath in such contaminated water are not getting that much worse conditions when some other external agents are creating problems. See, today morning, one gentleman, he said, one of his friend who is living in Europe, he said, you Indians are saved from this coronavirus because the mortality rate is very, very meager, very less here because of your poisonous living habits. You are consuming poison always. You are living in most dirty surroundings. Your habits are not clean. You are living in dirty surroundings. You are taking bath in dirty water, and you are inhaling that much polluted air, that is why you are not having that much problems. Then this gentleman replied, yes, yes, that is true. You are true, absolutely true. That is why we are not at all having any allergy to in the season when these trees are having pollens. We are not having allergy. So this is our benefit of this is the benefit of our healthy habits. So he replied. So consuming this poison is a healthy habit. Living in the odd situation is a healthy habit that we are seeing nowadays. He replied so. So today itself, today morning, he told me. So there will be, of course, difference of opinions regarding what is cleanliness, how you are cleaning. But that is the cleanliness is the greatest virtue to keep our body, mind, and senses in the best condition. And regarding tattoo and all such things, after all, it is your body. You have the right how to do and what to do with the body. Thing is this much. This is a vehicle and you must have it in perfect condition. That is the thing. We cannot say to somebody, you must not do that. No. He will say, this is my body and I am doing this. What business you have to comment on this? So that is the answer. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste.
My question is about, just wanted an explanation of a sloka in 13th chapter of Gita, the 12th sloka. So where it says, Nyayam yatat pravashyami yajñātvāmritam asnude anādimat param brahma nasat tannasat duchyate. So here, the Sat and Asat Vilakshanam is Nyayam. But is it the Maya or the Paramatma? Because what our understanding is
yeah.
Sat Asat Vilakshanam is Maya. So
Here it is
whether
Jnayam. Yeah, I got it. Got it. Jnayam yattat pravakshyami. Yaknyatva amritam asnute. So I am going to speak what is Jnayam. Jnayam yad tad. What is Jnayam? That I am going to explain. Jnayam is what is to be known. The meaning of Jnayam is what is to be known. And what is that? And what is the benefit of knowing that? Yaknyatva. Knowing that. Yad jnatva, knowing that. Amritam ashnute. Amritam ashnute means you will have immortality. You will become immortal. So that is the benefit. By knowing this Nyayam, you will become immortal. So it is not Maya. Because knowing Maya, you will not become immortal. Because by knowing Maya, we are not at all transcending our own limitations. Immortality is when we are transcending the limitations. We are transcending all the limitations. The limitations of time, limitations of place, and causation. When it is transcended, our nature is immortal nature. So, it is not Maya. Then what is that? It is not Sat. it is not asat. Anadimat param brahma. Na sat, na asat uchyate. So it uchyate, it is stated, it is said. What? It is not sat, it is not asat. How? If it is sat, it is not asat. That is true. And if it is not, if it is asat, it is not sat. That also we can understand. But here both are negated. Both are negated. How to understand that? Here, Bhagavan is not at all negating the existence absolute here, because it cannot be negated. And if that existence absolute, which is called by the name Sat, is negated, then nothing will remain there. Then what will remain? Shunya. Shunya cannot remain. So our Shastra will become meaningless. So there we have to take the meaning of Sat as what is manifested. What is manifested as is. I am saying this matter is here. This is here. That is there. I am here. You are there. This manifested plane, that is called the Sat. That is negated. That is the thing to be known, the absolute reality that is to be known, knowing which you will get or you will reach immortality, is not what is manifested. Then what it is? Is it unmanifest? No, it is not the unmanifest. It is not the unmanifest. Unmanifest is the avyakta. So it is not, neither it is vyakta nor it is avyakta. What is above vyakta and avyakta? That is anadimat param brahma. Anadimad, that which is without a beginning, beginningless. Beginningless must be endless also. So anadimat is that without a beginning. That is param brahma. Param brahma. Param, the highest, the ultimate. Param is the ultimate. That is above all our senses, all our mind, intellect, and even above our cognition. Because the ultimate reality is not to be cognized. It is not a thing to be known. So it is param. Anadimat param brahma. Brahma is a shabda, is a term used to denote the absolute existence, knowledge, bliss. We must not be tied to that word Brahma. We have to go to the indicated meaning. It is the basic cause of all manifestations. Because the Shabda Brahma comes from the Dhatu Bruh. So it is the very, very base or very substratum of all the manifestations. That is Brahma. That is the absolute truth. That is the absolute reality. It is not something manifested, nor is it the unmanifest. That is the meaning of this sloka. Actually, it is a bit confusing because there Bhagavan is negating Sat also. But we cannot take, or we must not take. We must not take the Sat in the absolute sense.
We can take
Na
it as
Sat,
the
na
relative.
Asat. Yeah.
A relative.
In the relative sense. In the relative
Whatever
sense.
Sat in the, whatever existence in the world, universe, I mean,
Yeah.
isness or any objective existence.
Yeah.
Can we say that?
Yes, of course. That is the meaning. What we can objectify here, what we are seeing here, that is what are being manifested to us. All those are negated here, Nasat. When we are negating the manifested, then the question remains, is it something unmanifest? No, that is neither unmanifest. Unmanifest is the avyakta, that is the Maya. That also is negated. So it is neither the manifest nor the unmanifest, but the real cause of all this. That is the meaning.
Maya also is defined as Satasat Vilakshana.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Of
That
course.
was the
Maya
confusion.
is, yeah, Maya is also na sad na asad. Because we cannot say Maya exists. We cannot say Maya is existing. We cannot negate the existence of Maya. In that sense, we are saying it is not Sat, not Asat. So the Sat and Asat have different meanings according to the context.
The experiential existence.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji. We have a few more minutes. But in connection with what you just said, is that contradicting sometimes like, Brahma Satyam Jagad Mithya, and same time we say Ishavasya Idam Sarvam. So is that in a peripheral way, if you're just looking at the top layer, and everything is, even though is Mithya, is also is a Ishavasya, is Vas Dhadu, is Avasade Idi. So is that contradicting, or how we can synchronize both the statements? Like,
see, in text or teachings which are to support or explain or narrate the absolute teaching, there can be contradictions. So in the Puranas or in the Itihasas, there can be contradictions. It is allowable. But in Pramanas, we cannot accept contradictions in Pramanas. Because one of the basic lakshana, how we are taking something as a pramana, a valid proof or valid means of knowledge. Pramana is the valid means of knowledge. It must not be contradicted by some other pramanas. That is the basic thing. That is the basic thing we have to remember. If we are understanding something through a pramana, and if it is contradicted by some other pramanas, the first is not a pramana. So that is the very basic thing we have to understand. So in pramanas, there will be no contradiction at all. Upanishads are pramanas. Bhagavad Gita is a pramana. Brahma Sutra is a pramana. Veda is the highest and the supreme pramana. So in pramanas, there will be no contradictions at all. we cannot see contradiction. If we are seeing some contradictions, it is our own fallacies. That is our own mistakes in understanding the real purport of such pramanas. For example, when we say Jagan Mithya in one place and Ishavasya Midam Sarvam in another place, when we observe peripherally, they are contradicting. But when we are analyzing, there is no contradiction at all. Because if the Acharya says this Jagat is Asat, Jagad Asat, then it is contradictory. There is no doubt in that. But the Acharya never thought so. Acharya, what he is saying, Acharya is saying Jagat is Mithya, not that Asat. Mithya is appearing outwardly, and when we analyze what is existing, it is the absolute existence, it is the basic truth, basic reality. And what we are seeing is the manifestations. What we are seeing or what we are experiencing is manifestations. Manifestation of what? Manifestation of the absolute reality. So that reality is pointed out here, Brahma Satyam. That absolute reality is existing. That is the truth. And the plane what is manifested, or what is in the manifestation or manifested level, that is mithya. It do not have absolute existence. Acharya never says it is not existing. It is existing. That is why we are experiencing. We are experiencing because it is existing. So the world is existing. But what is giving existence to that? It is the absolute reality, and that is Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. This is a very big topic. And the same thing is exhorted there, Ishavasya Idam Sarvam, whatever you are seeing here, whatever you are experiencing here. Verily, all these manifestations are the absolute reality. You understand that? That is the teaching of the Upanishad. So, Ishavasyam idam sarvam means Brahma Satyam. There is no contradiction at all. This is a topic where more elaboration is required, and I think we can take the subject once more in our next session.
Okay.
Namaste. Today we can conclude. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.